The first whisper. The galaxy had known peace for thousands of years, but deep within the core of the Zarnith Empire, an insidious secret festered, one that would shake the very foundations of existence. Viona, a young archaeologist with a thirst for the unknown, had always been intrigued by the Empire's history. She had grown up hearing tales of their glory and superiority, but something about the stories didn't sit right with her. There was a darkness beneath the surface, a whisper that called to her in the ancient ruins of the galaxy. One fateful day, while exploring the forgotten moon of Kilmar, Viona uncovered something that no one had dared look for, an alien artifact, encased in an ancient temple, long abandoned by time. The relic hummed with power, as if the very stone surrounding it had been shaped to protect its secrets. The device, shaped like a half-buried crystal, pulsed with a strange, otherworldly light that filled the dim, dusty air. As she carefully examined the object, the temple began to shake, sending dust and debris falling from the high ceilings. Her heart raced, unsure of whether she had triggered something dangerous or discovered something far more important. When Viona activated the device, the holographic message that appeared was incomprehensible at first. Alien symbols and shifting images danced in the air, depicting a race of ancient beings, the Seraphim. Their faces were majestic and luminous, radiating a power that seemed to warp reality around them. The message revealed a dark secret. The Zarnith Empire had not risen by their own might alone. In truth, they had conquered the Seraphim, using their power for their own gain. The Seraphim were not just an ancient race, they were the original architects of the galaxy, and their power had been suppressed for millennia. The message was clear. If the Seraphim's descendants awoke, they would destroy everything the Zarnith Empire had built. The hologram ended abruptly, and Viona stood alone in the darkened ruins, the weight of this discovery bearing down on her. The relic she had found was not just a relic, it was the key to awakening the Seraphim and unlocking a power that could unravel the galaxy itself. The hidden world, fearing the consequences of her discovery, Viona knew she couldn't return to the Empire. She couldn't let the Zarnith know what she had uncovered. They would stop at nothing to destroy her and her findings. With nothing but the map she had uncovered and a fierce determination, Viona set out on a journey to find the hidden world of the Seraphim, a place no one had seen in millennia. As she journeyed deeper into uncharted space, Viona's ship was pushed to its limits. The stars seemed to grow dimmer, and strange cosmic anomalies began to interfere with her navigation systems. At one point, her ship was caught in a gravitational anomaly that threatened to tear it apart. The ship shook violently, and the lights flickered. She fought against the controls, barely managing to escape the gravitational pull. She realized that the very fabric of space was reacting to her journey. Something powerful, something ancient was trying to stop her. When Viona finally arrived at the hidden world, it was nothing like she had imagined. The planet, known as Seraphis, was shrouded in a constant storm, with lightning cracking across the sky, and an eerie glow illuminating the jagged mountains that dotted the landscape. The planet's surface was covered in dense alien forests, their trees towering, like sentinels casting long shadows. The air was thick with a strange energy, and every step Viona took seemed to echo the weight of the past. The Seraphim's presence lingered in the air, though they had long since vanished. The ruins of their civilization, immense structures of crystal and metal stretched across the landscape. Viona could feel their power, a hum beneath the ground, as though the very planet itself was alive. She knew she was close to uncovering something that could change everything, but she was not alone. As she ventured deeper into the ruins, she discovered evidence of a much darker presence. Zarnith scouts had already been here, searching for the same secrets. They knew that the Seraphim were real. They knew that their time had come to reclaim what was theirs. And now, they would stop at nothing to ensure that Viona did not uncover the truth. The Seraphim's awakening, Viona's heart pounded as she unearthed the final piece of the puzzle. Deep within the largest temple on Seraphis, she found the last remaining records of the Seraphim. their history, their culture, and their unimaginable power. The Seraphim were not mere conquerors. They had once been the creators of everything in the galaxy. Their power was beyond comprehension, capable of shaping reality itself, bending time and manipulating the very fabric of space. The device she had found on Kilmar was no ordinary relic. It was a key to awakening the Seraphim's dormant power. But there was a catch. The process was dangerous. If Viona used the device recklessly, it could trigger a cataclysm that would consume everything in its path. The galaxy itself could be torn asunder. But the more she read, the more she realized that the Seraphim's return was inevitable. They were the galaxy's true rulers, and the Zarnith Empire had only stolen their power for their own purposes. The depths of the temple. Viona felt something stir beneath her feet. The ground trembled and a deep, resonating hum filled the air. The Seraphim's power was awakening, and there was no turning back. She hesitated for a moment, but the pull of destiny was too strong. She activated the device. A brilliant light erupted from the temple, and Viona was thrown to the ground as the entire planet seemed to shift. The power of the Seraphim surged to life, and the sky above erupted into a blaze of light. In that moment, Viona realized that she had unleashed something far greater than herself, something that could either save or destroy the galaxy. The betrayal. Just as the Seraphim's power began to awaken, Viona was confronted by an unexpected foe, General Kyle of the Zarnith Empire. He had followed her, knowing that she would eventually lead him to the Seraphim's hidden power. Kyle was ruthless, and he had no intention of allowing the Seraphim to reclaim their rightful place in the galaxy. Kyle offered Viona an ultimatum: surrender the relic and the knowledge of the Seraphim's awakening, or die. But Viona knew she couldn't give up what she had discovered. The galaxy needed to know the truth. Humanity, and every other species oppressed by the Zarnith Empire, needed to know that their rulers had been nothing more than thieves and conquerors. With no other choice, Viona activated the relic again. The energy it released engulfed the temple, shattering the walls and creating a massive shockwave. Kyle was thrown back, but Viona pressed on. She reached the central chamber, where the full force of the Seraphim's power was being channeled into the fabric of the galaxy itself. The Seraphim's descendants began to emerge from the depths of the temple, glowing with an ethereal radiance. They were not like any beings Viona had ever seen. Their forms shifted and flowed, constantly, changing as though they were not bound by the physical laws of the universe. They were beings of pure energy, with the ability to warp reality at will. The war for the galaxy. The Seraphim's awakening sent shockwaves across the galaxy. The Zarnith Empire, desperate to retain control, mobilized its vast fleets to crush the Seraphim and their newfound allies. General Kale led a brutal assault, using every weapon at his disposal to try and neutralize the Seraphim. But the power of the Seraphim was overwhelming. They bent the laws of physics to their will, creating massive energy storms, black holes, and time distortions that tore through the Empire's forces. As the war raged on, Viona found herself caught in the middle. She had unlocked the power of the Seraphim's relic, and now she was able to wield their energy herself. She fought alongside the Seraphim, using their power to turn the tide of battle. But the more she used the energy, the more she felt its pull, a force that threatened to consume her. The galaxy was thrown into chaos. Planets that had once been under the Zarnith Empire's control began to rise up against their former masters. Species that had been enslaved for centuries were now fighting for their freedom. But even as the tide of war began to shift, Viona knew that the ultimate battle was yet to come. The shattering of the Empire. The final battle took place on Zarn, the heart of the Zarnith Empire. General Kale's forces had gathered in full strength, determined to crush the Seraphim and their allies once and for all. The battle was fierce, and entire fleets clashed in the void of space, their weapons tearing through the stars. On the surface of Zarn, the Seraphim and Viona launched a desperate assault on the Empire's capital. As the battle reached its climax, the Seraphim revealed